Good morning. On behalf of Operation Rock, my name is Clayton here today with a story, hopefully that'll empower my audience. And that's just a nice thing to share. I come up here and I've been doing this about a year, maybe a year and a half now. Actually, wow, I've been doing this 2 years. It's unfortunate, people, when you're truly stalked by someone who is just dedicated to trying to destroy you and you're just sucked into some type of sick war, you don't even realize how much time goes by while you're fighting back this person just trying to fight for your damn freedom. But that was just my situation. So we're not going to get too much into that because I don't want to have to. Major victory for me yesterday, people. I was successful in having the complete petition of the mother of my child who filed the false petition with me in family court in New York completely dismissed yesterday after 2 years. Let's give Clayton a round of applause. Now, why is that a good thing, people? Orders of protections are granted off of what's called a petition in the family courts of New York. Basically, what happens is an accuser, a litigant, and that could be your child's father, your child's mother. It could be your uncle. It could be your aunt. The people use orders of protection from family court, and it's sick, people. But basically, what will happen is this person will go to the family court and they'll write something on the piece of paper, which is known as a petition. That petition is what is supposed to be a true and actionable account of what happened, and it gives the family court the legal authority to issue what's called a temporary order of protection, which many people who watch my broadcast know because you've probably unfortunately been subjected to imprisonment by these temporary orders of protection. But now here's the thing, people. Orders of protection are granted because someone makes allegations on a petition, which is these allegations are made to convince the court that they need the protection of the court and the police because they're in danger. Orders of protection are only supposed to be issued if someone is in danger, people. See, that's what they don't tell you. And if you do some research, you literally see it in case law and statute that someone has to have an imminent need for protection in order for a temporary order of protection to be granted. And that makes sense, people, because if someone's not in danger, why does the court need to grant an order of protection? So this is why when a lot of, and I don't mean to speak against women, so I try to make it non-gender, non-gender oriented, because men do it too. But what a partner, a jealous ex-partner, an angry ex-partner will do is they'll go to the court, and as many men will understand what I'm about to say, is they'll tell the court that they were assaulted. Because an allegation of physical abuse is enough to immediately substantiate the need for an order of protection. Now, courts, because of the past history of domestic violence with men and women, and let's be honest, people, again, I have said this, men have been horrible to women in the past with regard to domestic violence and physically assaulting them. Domestic violence is still a real problem for women. I don't speak against that. I don't speak against women who file false reports to diminish the true victimhood of women who don't file false reports because they deserve the full resources of the state when it regards their protection. I speak against people who use the system to file false reports, for people who use the system to drain the resources from those who truly need them. That's the whole purpose of my goal in advocating in these videos, because the people who truly file false reports are robbing the people who need the resources that were set up. And we have to stop that. So when you go into family court and they accept this petition and they say, hey, listen, okay, based off this petition, this piece of paper, this statement of your account that you say is truthful that happened, we believe you. So we're going to grant you the protections of the court to help you. Now, the biggest problem in family court is family courts, I would say, intentional complicitness in protecting those who file false reports. Now they'll use the excuse that if they arrest people or they press charges against people who will file the reports, who file the reports when they're proven fake, it's going to discourage people from filing reports. True, it will discourage people from filing reports, but it's going to discourage the right people from filing reports, which is the people who use the system to lie. But family court doesn't want that, and neither does law enforcement, because we have to be honest, people. These orders of protection are used to effectuate tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of false arrests a year. And the police use those statistics to substantiate their precinct budgets or their department budgets in order to keep the funding going so everybody can keep working. so they can keep paying for their car notes, so they can pay their kids' college tuition, so they can pay for their house. And there's nothing wrong with that, people. I don't speak against police working to earn for their families, because as men and women, they have to do that. That's the whole reason they become cops. That's the reason why many of them have the ambition to move through the department and try to make more money, for the simple need that they need to take care of their families, their children, and they want to advance in life. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. As red-blooded Americans, I totally respect that. But what I don't respect is the fact that they manipulate the process and the system to violate and harm others, like they did with myself. So, my child's mother, because I don't like using the term baby mama, people. I think that's so ghetto. My child's mother filed a false petition on me 2 years ago. The reason she did that was not because of any domestic violence. It's because our child had been assaulted, and I lied about it. Now, people, yes, I did lie about it. I'll be honest. I lied about it because my ex-girlfriend at the time assaulted my child. And the truth was, people, I was just tired. I cared about my ex-girlfriend. I didn't want her to go to jail for child abuse. I truly believed that she had a psychotic moment and she snapped. My answer to what she did was to simply just break up with her and try to stay away from her. People, God knows, I did not know this woman was going to flip the hell out and go crazy like she did and start stalking the hell out of me. Using false reports, lying on me. People, I never saw this coming. I never saw my ex-girlfriend to be the type of person that she turned out to be. But people, it happened, and there's nothing I can do about it. I don't control her thinking. There's no way I could have known that deep down, buried behind, inside of her was a psycho. But in any event, that's what happened. So now I actually lied for this woman, trying to protect her from the wrath of my child's mother, who did not like her already. And I probably lied from February, people, to July. That's exactly the length of time I lied. One day I go to family court in July of 2002, July 8th exactly of 2002, and a family court judge orders my ex-girlfriend to return my dog. Now, the stupidest part about my situation, people, is that it got out of control over a dog. And the dog was not my ex's dog. It was a dog that I bought from my mother, my deceased mother's dog. People, I cared so much about my ex-girlfriend. I even drove 4 hours after I broke up with her, and I had to take my dog back to buy her own dog. People, I never tried to use this animal to hurt my ex-girlfriend's feelings. But people, she lied through her teeth and told everybody that because she needed to create the image that I was a piece of crap who was trying to hurt her. And because people are so quick to believe that men or just have to be against women, people, everybody believed her. They didn't even care enough to look into the situation to find out if it was the truth. So, people, my ex-girlfriend decides to contact my child's mother and instigate the abuse of my child. Now, people, remember, this happened in February, people. I lied for 6 months. I never said a word. My ex-girlfriend contacts the mother of my child, and I've actually shown this in previous podcasts. I don't need to do this, where I've shown her contact through Instagram to the mother of my child. Now, why is that significant? Because there was an order of protection preventing her from having anything to do with my child, and she did it anyway. But police are so biased and racist against African American men and minority men overall when it comes to the actual criminal justice that people, my ex was never arrested for violating that order of protection. They actually dismissed it. That's a whole other story. So the mother of my child now learns that this woman actually did assault her daughter. Now, why does that happen? The mother of my child, when I brought my child home after the assault, identified injuries. Mark on her face, bruise on her stomach. All of this she reported to the family court of New York when I finally got there. But in July of 2022, she calls me up and she says, yo, what happened to the, she says, yo, why is your ex-girlfriend calling me talking about abuse? I said, what are you talking about? She says, yo, she's contacted me talking about she didn't hit the baby. Yo, what happened with my damn daughter in February when she came home with that injury? Because mothers aren't stupid, people. A mother's always going to know when something happens. And for months, this woman held it because she knew that the marks on my daughter, when I brought her home in February, should not have been there. Now, people, I don't fault her for being angry about this because as the mother of my child, she's right. And I was wrong. I should have told her. I have paid the price of not doing the right thing. The truth of the matter is that was that child's mother, and I had an obligation to tell her the truth because if it had been the reverse, I would have expected her to tell me if some man hit my daughter. So I was wrong for that, people. No, I didn't deserve what she did to me afterwards. So she demands after this woman contacts her that I tell her the truth about what happened. And people, I had been lying for this girl for 6 months. I couldn't lie after she called the damn mother no more. I had to tell the truth. So I told the woman the truth, which is, yo, something happened. This chick snapped out, smacked the baby, but I took care of it. I broke up with her. I got an order of protection against her. It's cool. She starts flipping out. Yo, you got to call the cops. You got to call CACS. Now, here's the truth, people. I didn't. She did. She reported it to the fucking family court. Family court opens this whole investigation. People, they contact me. They have me investigated. They investigate in my ex and me. They ask me for evidence. People, I can't lie. I got to send them the pictures. And I sent them some text messages that verified that my ex knew about the abuse and was bragging about it. But people, my ex claimed domestic violence and lied and said I hit her. So people, a black man assaulting a black woman happens to me. I learned from this process, it seems to supersede anybody assaulted, at least a woman assaulted a child. It seems that law enforcement doesn't care about child abuse. They can verify through the statements of the mother and the statements of the father. They only care about statements they can't verify where a black man assaults a woman, where they have no evidence that this man ever assaulted the woman, but if she says it, they go after the man. If the man and the mother can prove that this woman assaulted the child, people, they don't do nothing, at least a little black baby, because this is what happened to my daughter. They never investigated the abuse of my child. They never went back to the mother and cooperated the mother as the mother reporting the injuries to the family court. And people, I know this for a fact because I have documents from the police in New York and New Jersey that the reports for abuse to the police were never investigated. In New York, no report was ever made. But in New Jersey, there actually is a report because an officer who I made the report to documented it. The truth was I never tried to have it documented. I only told the officer when my ex-girlfriend robbed me. And this female officer, who's the same officer who charged my ex-girlfriend with the initial complaint, documented the abuse. The Newark police just never investigated the report. So now my ex-girlfriend's, my daughter's mother gets pissed when I don't actually have her arrested for assaulting the child. Because remember, people, I didn't try to get criminal charges against her. So my daughter's mother goes after me instead, and she files a petition on me in family court alleging that I allowed this woman to abuse our child. I did nothing, and that I had been physically threatening her. Because remember, people, they have to make an allegation saying that you hurt them or you did something to get the TPO. So people, like I've taught in the past, orders of protections are called ex parte, which means that a person, the other party, excuse me, does not have to be present in order for a judge to grant it. Now, the significance of that is if the other person isn't there, they can't fight the allegation against them. So basically, they would take my word and just put an order of protection on somebody, and I could be lying. It doesn't matter, people, because it just creates leverage. That's what it's all about. They put these temporary orders of protection on everybody who files family court petitions because the truth is they're trying to get leverage to make somebody settle. That's the whole truth. That is the entire purpose of orders of protection. To an extent, they are truthfully meant to protect people also. Let me not diminish them. But their primary purpose is to use and leverage in family court proceedings to make someone else accept the deal, because that's what the prosecutors want. You have to realize criminal justice is not really about justice. It's a business. They want convictions. They want the processes. They have to keep people working. All of this is a business, people. It has nothing to do with justice, and that's the truth. So now I go, and my daughter's mother files these charges on me, which people I never knew. I didn't find out there was an order of protection on me till February of 2002. Now, here is the dirty part, and I use the word dirty not to call her physically dirty, but to call her character dirty and her person in her character low. My child's mother never tells me that she has such a gripe with me that she files a petition in family court against me. No, she talks to me for months, people. She has me giving her money for my daughter. She has me buy Christmas gifts for my daughter, people. No, she never tells me I have an order of protection against me, people. But now, mind you, I have taken her to court to get legal rights to my child because, people, as a father, you should have the legal right to your child. Don't rely on a woman. Don't rely on a woman's grace to allow you to be in your child's life, because the truth of the matter is grace is easily withdrawn, people. Someone can love you today and grant you favor today and tomorrow tell you to go screw yourself. And if that happens with the mother of your child, now you have a problem seeing your damn child. So people, I realize that because the mother of my child is younger than me and played a lot of money games with me, just trying to basically extort me to see my daughter, which I love my daughter. So I was paying it. So what I did was take my child's mother to court to get the legal right to pick up my child and visit my child and to force her to grant me that right without trying to move out of the state or etc. So I initially petitioned the court for rights. So when I petitioned the court for my joint custody rights, that's all I did. When I petitioned the court for my joint custody rights, people, the mother of my child went and lied on me to family court because she was upset that her dirt would get revealed. So she lied on me. So now I go to court in February of 2003, people, and I'm thinking I'm just there to get legal access to my daughter. The damn judge tells me that I have an order of protection violation. What? What are you talking about? What order of protection? You have an order of protection. The judge is screaming at me. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never been served with an order of protection. But this racist white judge, and that's exactly what I'm going to call her, because people, that's what she is. This judge violated so many of my civil rights. She has given me an action against the Kings County Brooklyn court, which I'm definitely going to take. Me and my daughter are about to sue the Kings County Family Court for a couple of $1 million. Because the 14th Amendment grants fathers certain particular rights in raising their child without any state or government interference. Now, mothers are granted that right per diem. They have no, the courts can't say, a mother has to be a total piece of crap for the court not to grant them, or to say that they're not entitled to the protections of the 14th Amendment with regard to parenting. Fathers, on the other hand, they can screw us. A lot of you deadbeat dads out there who think, yo, this is my kid and I got the right to my kid. Let me tell you something, homie. You don't. You don't have the right to your kid. If you don't take an active role in the rearing and the support of your child, the state can take the right of your child from you and give it to somebody else. People, there is hundreds of case laws where other men have gotten with the mothers of, let's say, a man, well, there's hundreds of case law where stepfathers have been granted paternal rights over natural fathers, because the stepfather is the one who is actually assuming the role of the father, and the father is not assuming the role of the father, which means making an active role in the rearing of the child, making decisions, trying to see the child, trying to be a part of the child's life. For a father, you have to do these things for a court to recognize that you have a federally protected right to not be bothered in the raising of your child. People, I did all of this. People, the only reason that I know about the custody of my child is because I tracked my child's mothers down and I made her take a DNA test, people. So that establishes the fact that I am the one who went to find out if the child was mine. People, I have tens of thousands of dollars in receipts that I was paying to the mother of my child the first year my child was alive. People, I have text messages where I'm asking her for my child's social security number and her information so I can add her to my life insurance policy. People, I did everything I was supposed to do as a father to be a part of my child's life. The only reason I'm not is because the mother lied on me. Now, the court will protect the mother, because the truth is the court needs the mother to create the BS process that it does when it sits back and violates your rights. It needs it to keep the BS going, people. So what they do is they protect the lives of the mother, especially the mother, because the mother is the woman. And remember, people, domestic violence was created for women. So if they have a willing participant in a woman who is willing to lie to the court to keep the litigation going, people, they allow them to. So for people, about 2 years, I've been before the Family Court of New York, and I'm pretty sure the mother of my child has created almost $1 million in litigation with the false litigation she filed. Yesterday, I go to family court, people. Now, I've actually tried to argue this for over 2 years, but I wasn't able to. I didn't have I didn't know the legal language. I didn't know the terms. I didn't know the laws. I didn't know courtroom etiquette enough to explain myself. That's changed. Go to court yesterday. And I have an attorney, by the way, who's a good woman. She just was unprepared because she has a lot of cases, and people nowadays, unless you hire an Alex Spiro and you pay a ticket, most attorneys they're ambulance chasers, people. You're going to go in there. They got so many caseloads, and I'm not speaking against attorneys. It's a profession. It's a business. An attorney's job is to get new clients so they can support their lifestyle. People, I totally respect it. So I'm not actually angry that I have an attorney who was unprepared yesterday, but people, I wasn't. So I go into this court, and basically, again, they've been denying me access to my child, not because I did anything, because my child's lawyer should have mentioned that. People, whenever you go to family court and there's a child involved, the court is going to assign the child a lawyer because the child needs a representative. Now, the court will assign these children lawyers, and the lawyers are supposed to act for the best interest of the children. But a lot of the times, that's not what the lawyer does. A lot of the time, the lawyer goes off of whether or not they like either parent. And that's what happened to me, of course, because I'm outspoken, I'm super alpha, and I don't take shit. So I go into court, and for my last 2 years of fighting for my rights against the court, trying to argue case law, trying to stop them from lying on the record by objecting, this attorney didn't like my courtroom conduct. She felt I disrespected her. So people, because she felt I disrespected her, she has been denying me unsupervised visitation of my child. Now, why is that important? See, people, federal case law establishes that the only way a father can be denied access to his child is if there's an allegation of abuse or a threat of imminent danger. And if there's no threat of imminent danger, if there's no allegation of abuse, then the court does not have the right to restrict the father's access to the child. And people, there are hundreds of cases that establish this in every state in the country. But people, this attorney thought I was a dumb black man. She figured that, you know what, I put it in the book. He's never going to realize it. She don't realize how much I love my daughter and that I would burn Rome to the damn ground for my baby. So, of course, I've learned that this woman can't do that. So, people, yesterday we're there. And this lawyer is saying, oh, Judge, Mr. Howard is argumentative in court. People, I didn't even have a lawyer. Of course I'm argumentative in court. I'm arguing my damn case. I have to be argumentative. It's the only way I'm going to be heard. So I've been arguing my case, and I've told the truth, people, how my daughter's mother is guilty of misconduct, how he intentionally pretended to be my attorney, getting restricted and sensitive and confidential information from me, which could have damaged my case. And then one day before we were to appear in court, he told me the truth that he wasn't my lawyer. So people, by doing that, this attorney violated the rules of professional conduct because he pretended to be the lawyer for the opposing counsel, and he knew from the beginning that that I was the defendant. Now I go to court and I argue this before the former judge. Former judge actually lies on the record and denies the fact that she assigned me this same lawyer, because that's what happened. The judge assigned me the same lawyer as my daughter's mother. This is why I don't do assigned counsel anymore, people. It's a complete crock of shit, people. They're not saying all of them. A small percentage of assigned counsel are good people, but the majority of them are overburdened with caseloads. They have the arrogance of attorneys who are accomplished attorneys who have actually received the law license. The thing about attorneys is it works like this. Attorneys don't respect non-attorneys. And actual attorneys, they work on a I would say a class level of respect. The higher the school you go to, the better your accomplishments, the more you're going to get respected. That's how it works. But lawyers in general have no respect for pro se litigants. You got to earn that shit. Excuse my language. You got to earn it, and you earn it through fighting, through litigation, through your recollection of case law and statute and court procedures and rules of professional conduct. You have to be knowledgeable in this stuff in order to get them to respect you, which is pretty much anything in life. So I argued yesterday before the court my 14th Amendment federal rights to raise my child. And I tell the judge straight, quite simply, that if this court doesn't grant me immediate access to my child, I'm going to file a federal civil rights lawsuit using 1983 because they are depriving me of my 14th Amendment right, deprivation of rights to the equal protections of the court and to raise my child. People, I said that to this woman and she stopped and she looked and she said, you know something? Did you guys amend the petitions? Because I read Ms. Smith's petition and I don't see the fact that Ms. Smith's petition actually has merit. Now that's significant, people, because if a judge is reading a petition yesterday and it didn't have merit, that means it didn't have merit 2 years ago when it was granted. So I said, excuse me? I said, Your Honor, you're checking the merits of the petition now? I said, Your Honor, I've been falsely arrested for that petition multiple times. What are you talking about? Shouldn't the petition have been valid from the beginning? Now they're mad at me, people. Now they start screaming at me. You stop interrupting. I'm trying to help you, Mr. Howard. I'm trying to help you. She thinks she's helping me by what she's about to do, people. She wasn't helping me. She's trying to save her ass. So people, they review the petition and they say, you know something? There's no allegation of abuse here. She's accusing the mother of the child of assaulting the child, not Mr. Howard. And Mr. Howard never went to the house. So you know something? This is not a family offense. People, they dismissed the fucking petition. I almost fainted. Because people, what that means is if they just dismiss the petition, they dismiss the order of protection. People, guess what? I can see my daughter for Christmas. Voila. I got it done, people. Not me relying on a court-appointed attorney. Not me sitting down praying to some magical white man in the sky who does not help people that don't help themselves. See, people, God helps those who help themselves. You ain't gonna be able to pray to some magical ghost in the sky and get what you want. But if you're willing to work for it, your faith in God is what will push you through to get the results you want. So, people, I got the results I wanted yesterday. Not because of some attorney, not because I manipulated anything, people, because I put the work in and I realized what these people were doing to me. Why do I tell this story? If you are a father or a mother and the court is denying you your right to your child and you've never touched or assaulted your child, you've never done anything to put your child at harm's length, yet the court continues to deny you access to the child, to deny you services in court like proper counsel, to deny you valid visitation where they're not stalling you for months because they're complaining about the complexities or the what's the word I'm looking for, where something is the congestion of the legal process. People, that's not your damn problem. That's their problem. You have a right to be in your child's life. And that's what I argued yesterday. So because I was able to argue the fact that the petition in itself was false, guess what, people? This judge had to dismiss my ex's complaint. But there was also a reverse to that too, which is unfortunately she dismissed mine too. The problem is, people, 2 years ago, I wasn't as good legally as I am now. So my complaint 2 years ago was based more off of anger at the fact that she had lied to me and lied on me, excuse me, and done the things she did than what was actually going on in the case, which was that, I just wanted to see my child. It was more personally based, and that's a big mistake you're going to make, people. And I think that's the biggest reason, other than knowledge, is why we're told to have a lawyer represent us in family court. Because when you care about people, it's hard to detach yourself from caring about somebody, especially if you have done nothing wrong. People, I can tell you for the truth, the worst feeling in the world is to sit back and watch somebody who you care about lie on you to court to try to ruin your life. People, it is some shit that will make you want to hurt them. Because why are you doing this? You know you're lying and you're doing all of this just to get revenge. Is that deep? How the fuck is that deep? Especially if you didn't do anything. And people, this has happened to me with two women who I was incredibly good to for the last 3 years. Well, not last 3 years, but prior to the last 3 years of my life, I was good to them. I never did anything for either of these women to lie on me and try to destroy me as badly as they did. But I'm glad they did, people, because they changed me enough to realize the significant problem that is going on within our communities. That the family courts and criminal justice is biased towards minorities and protected classes of people. That's just a fact. The family court system of the family court system in general is a trap. It's parental alienation. They are intentionally alienating fathers from their children, and they're doing it to destroy the family unit. This is why this is why they scream women independence so much, independent women so much. People, what are you talking about? Women and men have kids because that's the whole point of what God intended. It's supposed to be a damn family. The man is supposed to be with his kids. Why would you why would you be placing barriers for a man to actually be in his child's life if he wants to be? That's the craziest part about it. You have so many men out there who don't want to take care of their kids. A lot of times men have kids with women because they want some vagina. And they get the vagina good. They stop using condom. A baby come from the situation. The relationship work out. The vagina's not no good no more. Guess what happens? The woman decides to leave, or the man decides to leave, and guess what? Somebody else gets the vagina. He's having sex with someone else. Either she has another baby, or the kid, or he has another baby. Now, if he has another baby, he has a new obligation because whatever woman he's with is now his family unit. Woman, man, child. The woman is over here, woman and child. So now, technically speaking, and this is what a lot of you men don't understand, when you have a baby by one woman, leave her or she leaves you and you get into a new relationship and have a baby by that woman, you technically have two families, homie. Even if this woman gets with a new man, you still got a child there. So you still have a unit that you're contributing to because you have a child there. And that's the problem with a lot of men. They don't understand it. You think just because a relationship ends, yeah, you want to be happy, you want to start something else, but you still got a family over there with that woman because you got a baby or two or three that you got to take care of. And that's a major problem, people. So, in point, this wasn't supposed to be a technically informational video, but it was a good story to let you know what can happen if you actually find the loopholes in a petition or examine the merits of a petition filed against you in family court to have it dismissed. Again, people, they're going to do everything in their power if a petition has no merit to try to make you wait to trial, because that's the excuse me, that's their purpose. They want to extend it as long as possible, the court, because the longer they extend it, the more money they're creating. That's all this is about. Your job is to end it. You don't want to extend it. You want it to end. So to end, you have to focus on the facts, not your personal feelings. You focus on the facts. If a woman has lied and said you hit them, you get a specific date of the day she's saying you hit her. You go before the court. You get a specific date. You look at the specific situation she's saying you hit her. You get as much evidence you can as possible to substantiate that situation never happened. Now, people, it's not going to be testimony. You can't get the word of somebody else because the court doesn't believe the word of someone else in writing. They have to come to court. So in most circumstances like that, when you try to have a friend vouch for you, it's not going to work till that friend gets on the stand, and it's not going to really matter unless the judge believes that friend's testimony. What I mean by evidence that could substantiate a lie of abuse is a video, a recording, hard proof, hard visual or audio proof that a situation never happened. If you can do that, that is the only means by which that you can have an order of protection dismissed before you go to trial. And the tool you use for that would be an order to show cause. You would basically file this paperwork called an order to show cause, asking the plaintiff, or the person who accused you, to show cause or prove to the court in this hearing that this actually happened. That's what you're doing. If they can't prove that happened in the hearing, then the hearing's purpose is to dismiss the allegation that they cannot prove to the court right then. So guess what? If the allegation is you abused them and it's dismissed in order to show cause, now if that order of protection was granted because of the physical abuse of it, the allegation of physical abuse, the allegation was found and proven to be false, they can remove the order of protection, because if the order of protection was only granted for physical abuse, guess what, people? You didn't physically abuse them. There's no need for an order of protection. And people, that's what happened to me yesterday. So although my total custody battle is not over, because I still have to deal with the joint custody and visitation petitions, which is, unfortunately, I have to make a choice, people. If I want complete joint legal custody to my child, I have to drop all charges against my ex, because that's the only way you can get joint custody. Which a lot of fathers, you probably don't know. If you're a father out there and you think that you're going to go to court with your daughter's or your son's mother and you're going to get an order of protection and you're going to get joint custody, let me be the first to tell you that, well, somebody probably else tell you, but let me tell you in this broadcast, that's not how it works. In order to get complete joint custody, where you have the same rights to go and come with the child or get your child, you cannot have an action or an order against the mother. And it's a really simple reason why you can't. The court assumes that two people that can get along can raise a child. If you have an order of protection against the mother, how are you getting along with her? So they're not going to give you joint custody. They'll grant you some form of custody and visitation. And I forgot what the other form of rights is, that basically, they can't leave the state and they have to grant you access to medical records. But if you want joint custody, you got to drop the charges. So people, I got to make a decision if I want to drop all of these charges against this woman to get joint custody, or if I want to fight for the justice that I've been advocating on in these podcasts and hold the family court accountable for the false allegations of my child's mother. Because people, that's the only way that I can bring this to the forefront, to expose what happens to other men like me in the family court, as I have to see it through, people. And that's a decision I have to make. It's a really hard one, because I don't want to go forward with it. I'm going to be honest. I just want to see my daughter, but I really feel like I cannot let the mother off. Because if I let the mother off, she's just going to do it again when something happens that she doesn't like. She's going to totally abuse process, and she's going to lie through her teeth on me. Because people, the one thing you have to understand about this life, I'm about to preach to you. The one thing you got to understand is that somebody who does something to you once will definitely do it again. And you are a fool if you think that they love you enough or something's going to happen that's going to make them not. If a man cheats on you once, baby, guess what? He's going to cheat on you again. If a woman cheats on you once, brother, guess what? She going to give that booty up again. This is how the world works. Somebody who has a lack of respect for you enough, or doesn't have the respect for you, or doesn't care about you to do something that's going to hurt you, will 100% do it again. And you'll be a fool not to understand that. So people, I hope this story was inspiring to an extent. I hope it provided somebody with a real life account of what you can do if you actually educate yourself enough to not be these people's idiot in their proceedings, because that's the truth of the matter, people. If you don't take an active role in trying to learn the process that you may have been forced into, you're just going to be a willing idiot who sits there and basically while they knock you on the head with a bat and do whatever the hell they want to you. People, I didn't like concussions. I didn't choose to sit there and let them keep hitting me with a bat and kicking me in my nuts. I decided to get up. And I suggest many of you do the same, because if you don't, the longer you take to take the advice I'm giving you, the longer you're going to be in family court, because people, their only objective is to stall you out as long as possible so they can get a process up, they can get a conviction or something out of you to get money out of you. That is the entire purpose of the family court system, people. And it's wrong. So if your rights are being violated, if a judge is denying you your right to your child because of a false petition, they are violating your 14th Amendment legal rights to access into raising your child. And there's things you can do to stop them when they do that. On behalf of justice, on behalf of Operation Rock, again, this was somewhat of my personal testimony on how you can attack a petition of an order of protection and get some real results. Remember, people, you're not going to be able to run in there and say, oh, this person lied on me, and bring your homie or your homegirl in there and say, yo, tell a judge, tell them, right? They lied on me. That would work, but it works later down the line in trial, and trial could take 2 years. No, you need definite proof. You need recordings, you need video, you need something. You need something that can show visually or audibly show a judge that you have been lied on. So, people, on behalf of justice, when you need to attack a false petition, remember the only thing that matters is the facts, not hearsay. Don't rely on the statements of your man or your homegirl. Rely on the truth. Rely on recordings. Rely on text. Establish time periods. This is what you need to do when you are attacked with a false petition in family court. Um, I'm clapping myself on the back, people. Looks like the war at my child's mother is over. I've successfully won that one, people, so that's a good one. We're going to wrap up the other lawsuits against the state of New York. Staten Island, you scumbags, I'm on your ass. The state of New Jersey, you know what you did. I'm about to survive 12B on you. And life is good, people. So on behalf of Operation Rock, stay tuned. More knowledge, more insight, people. That's what this is about. Have a great day. I got to go, and hopefully many of you